Professor Griff. Tune in every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/C/Sirius Mindz RNTV. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Sirius Mindz for Sirius Mindz. Seriously. Peace.
Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Caso Visions. Capture your visions. Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Caso Visions. Capture your visions. Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Caso Visions. Capture your visions.
Peace, peace, peace. Greetings, greetings, everyone. Greetings. Alright. Let me see if we on code. Yeah, I think we on code. Alright, greetings, everyone. Welcome to Sirius Mindz RNTV.
Peace. Greetings, everyone.
Greetings. Where's my headphones?
Alright.
I'm just going out like a peasant. Like in a cheese factory, man. Just got you. Alright. Had too many things up. Alright, greetings everyone. Alright, peace, hotep, shalom, assalamu alaikum. Of course, if you don't know what assalamu alaikum means by now, it means peace be unto you. Alright, good evening, what's up, what's good, what's popping, what it do? I guess some people still say hi and hello. Yeah, we're gonna bring them along. Whatever school you from, whatever thought you're from. Alright, whatever your level of transition is right now, wherever you are. Alright, we want to bring everyone into a smooth transition into a higher level of consciousness. Alright, we want to say greetings to everyone. Alright, a greeting is a beautiful way to start a conversation. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Sirius Mindz RNTV. And tonight, of course, y'all all know is the Sista Cypha. Alright, the Sista Cypha tonight. And tonight's subject, of course, will be, alright, just of course, y'all know we got to keep everything on code. So it's the black code. You got the black code up there, bro? I don't even see it. Oh, there it is. Sista Cypha. Alright. Black codes. Alright. The black codes. We have to make sure we stay on code. Alright. This platform is definitely supported by the people. And it's for the people and it's by the people. If you would like to become one of those beautiful people, please, you can email us at siriusmindzinfo@gmail.com. That's SIRIUSMINDZ info@gmail.com. Alright. So we can add you to the list. And definitely at this time we would like to thank those that are responsible for making this happen tonight. And of course, my good brother that I'm sitting across the table from, he's not Willie Whispers tonight because tonight is not Wednesday. Alright? So he's just Shane Thug Life Shakur in the building behind the controls. Shout out to Shane. Shout out to Quan S and Alex Little and Cat Boogie up in the BX making it happen. Alright, cool. At this time, of course, definitely we like to definitely thank all of those people that support the platform. Alright, and if you would like to support the platform, you can definitely do one of three things. You can leave a donation right here on right here at the super chat, right here on www.youtube.com/the letter C/Sirius Mindz RNTV. Alright? Okay, cool. Make sure y'all make that happen. Alright? If you would like to place an ad on this particular channel, alright? All you have to do is email me at siriusmindzinfo@gmail.com or hit me up on the text 678-557-2919. Alright, to place the ad right here on the Sista Cypha. Alright, please consider supporting independent media by making your donation, alright, to the Sirius Mindz platform, the Sirius Mindz Institute, or the Sirius Mindz Films platform. Go to www.paypal.me/ProfessorGriff Corp, or just go to www.professorgriff.me. Alright? Or you can stay right here on the super chat, hit the $, and let us know how you would like to support. Now, if you're in a church and you belong to a denomination, then choose your denomination. 20s, 10s, 5s, 1s, whatever, 100s, whatever your denomination is. Alright? Whatever your banknote is, it's absolutely fine. Alright? But if you're right here on YouTube, hit the super chat and give what you can give. Really appreciate that. Shout out to all of the brothers and sisters that take their time to come on every single night. Y'all know who y'all are. Alright? People like Hassan Burton, Bryce Clemens, and Johnny Taylor and other people. Alright? Shout out to all of the good people, the beautiful people. Alright? This platform is about the business of raising our vibrational pitch of our people's thinking into the mind of the ancestors, into the mind of the creator, into the mind of the co-creator, into that mindset which is of higher vibration. Alright? We're standing on the shoulders of the ancestors and we're kneeling at the feet of our elders. Alright? We definitely need everyone that's watching this on them other platforms. I don't even have them other platforms up just now. Where's my phones? I don't even know what the phone is. But anyway, make sure you'll come right on over here to YouTube. Alright? .com/the letter C/Sirius Mindz RNTV. Alright? Do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. That's the law of karma. Alright? We teach people how to treat us. Alright? So definitely know and understand that. Only accept that which serves your highest and your best good. Let's dialogue, let's reason, let's talk right here on Sirius Mindz, seriously on the Sista Cypha. And we're dealing with the black codes tonight. Alright? We want to thank everybody for joining us. Everyone for joining us. Alright? As we dive into this very timely subject. Alright? So now, with that said, we need everybody to kind of brace yourself, buckle up, because this talk tonight is given to us by our two sisters, Quan S and Alex Little. Alright? So yeah. I'm sure Cat Boogie's somewhere in the mix. Alright. But anyway, alright, what we're gonna do is we're gonna dive into that. But let me set this thing up for y'all. When you start talking about black codes, alright, I mentioned it in my book. I forgot on what page. But it talks about the idea of living by a code. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you notice the people around the world, the different ethnic groups, wherever you go, alright, whether it's on the street or in politics or in education, workplace, whatever, there's always a code that you have to live by. Alright? Cat Boogie. Saying, where you at, son? But I'm saying, you have to live by a code. If you don't have a code guiding, it's page 111 and 112. I'm going to go downstairs and get my book so we can make that pop off. As a matter of fact, hold on for a second. I'm going to get it right now so we can see what's going on. I think it's downstairs. I'm going to go all the way downstairs and get my book. Nope, got it. All I need to do now is find my daggone phones. I know I brought them up here. Nope. I came in the house. garbage. Hold on, right back. Play commercials.
Greetings, this is Professor Griff. Tune in every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/C/Sirius Mindz RNTV. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Sirius Mindz for Sirius Mindz, seriously. Peace.
Open your eyes to the endless possibilities of creating from your centerpiece. Experience your visions brought into reality and watch your dreams unfold naturally. If pictures are worth 1,000 words, let's create a story that's a masterpiece. Casso Visions. Capture your visions.
Peace. We're black. I had to go get the book, man. I had to make it official for real. Alright, anyway. Alright, so we're talking about the black codes. I asked the question in the book on page 111 and 112. I asked, what is the code? Alright, how is it used in the black community? And as I said, in every community. Alright, yeah, I'm looking kind of nerdy, lame today. I got the con hat on. You understand what I'm saying? The icon, because I can. You understand what I'm saying? It's the icon, man, for real. Anyway, meantime, between time, I'm sure Quan and Alex Little talked about this, but the whole idea of the code, and this is simple. I'm just gonna read them off real quick, and I think they're gonna reiterate this on the talk that they gave. All right, we don't steal from one another. We do not kill one another. We do not sell or offer drugs to one another. We do not combine our dollars but collectively as a group. All right. We do combine our dollars collectively as a group. We protect our community, women and children first. We educate our own at every chance. We do not fight one another. Brothers protect and build up one another. Sisters protect and build up one another. Brothers protect and build up the sisters. Sisters protect and build up the brothers. We look for every opportunity to start our own businesses, servicing the need of our people. And this is basic. I said we must get back to living by a code of conduct, a code of ethics, a code of respect. And this is one thing that a lot of people just don't have. A code of conduct, all right, a code of ethics, a code of respect. Now, hopefully, Alex and Quan dove into the compensatory code by Neely Fuller Jr. All right, the code. We gotta respect the code. All right, but they could tell you better than I could tell you. So we're gonna start the broadcast with Quan and Alex Little and Cat Boogie from the BX, and we're gonna hear from them, the sisters. Tonight is the Sista Cypha. Tonight and Thursday is the Sista Cypha. Alright, so listen, let me say one last thing. The class was canceled tonight. I didn't get the people that we were supposed to get. I'm going to send out a letter tomorrow morning to everyone, letting people know the next date that we're going to have it. Any apologies if you didn't get the letter today. Here I am creating the letter. I'm hitting click to everybody. 4 hours later, I go back and it's still sitting there. I'm like, little wheel spinning. So I had to clean out the stuff in the computer. So I'm going to send out the letter tomorrow morning. I apologize to anybody that was expecting the class tonight. So if anybody's watching this, please pass the word on to those that signed up for the class. All right, I'm going to give the new date. I'm going to send out the letter tomorrow morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Sista Cypha. All right, Black Codes.
Peace, peace, peace. What's up, Alex? How are you today?
Hello, beautiful Quan.
Hope all is well. A little insider, but peace to everyone in the chat room. We'd like to welcome you to the Sista Cypha. We would like you guys to hit the like button, share. If you like to donate to the super chat, please feel free to do so. If you want to hit Professor Griff up on PayPal or Cash App, please do so. So last week we discussed the Black genocide and the Negro dilemma and how Black people are specifically being targeted by white supremacists. And this week on our Sista Cypha, we would like to discuss getting on code, and that's the Black code. So in part one, we discussed the problem, and now in part two, we would like to talk about the solutions to that problem. And I think this topic is really important because there's a big disconnect in our community. And with all the mass shootings occurring and white supremacists realizing that they are going to be outnumbered by 2043, you know, they're willing to do any and everything to blacks and black and brown people to prevent this from happening. And this is why I think it's imperative that we get on code and that, you know, we find a solution to white supremacy. And if we don't get on code, we will never defeat white supremacy. You know, we have a lot of different groups in the Black community, or tribes, if what some people like to call it. I mean, we have the Pan-Africanism, we have the Black conscious community, we have the Boule, we have hip hop, we have ADOS. And for some reason, it seems like there's a disconnect. You know, we operate separately, but to me, there's a common thread amongst all of us. And that common thread is our Blackness. That really ties us all together. And if we don't unite as a whole and stop all the divisiveness, I think, honestly, we are destined to be doomed. We are going to be destined as doomed. You know, I know that Professor Griff has written a book called The Warrior's Tapestry. And he wrote in his book, The Warrior's Tapestry, about the Black code. And on page 111 through 112, he talks about what it means to have a Black code and how it can be used in a community. And I want to cite the 11 things that he says when it is concerned with the Black code, and also how he defined and elaborated what the new Black code is. So number one, we do not steal from one another. Number two, we do not kill one another. Number three, we do not sell or offer drugs to one another. Number four, we do combine our dollars and buy collectively as a group. Number five, we protect our own women and children first. Number six, we educate our own at every chance. Number seven, we do not fight one another. Number eight, brothers protect and build up one another. Number nine, sisters protect and build up one another. Number 10, we look for every opportunity to start our own business, servicing the need of our people first. And number 11, Professor Griff states that we must get back to living by a code of conduct, a code of ethics, and a code of respect. On page 112, you'll find that he elaborated what it means to have like this quote unquote new Black code. And on number one, he says we must protect our women and children first. We don't kill each other. Number three, we don't steal from each other. Number four, we don't fight each other. Number 5, we don't sell or give drugs to each other. Number 6, we maximize our power by combining our dollars and we buy as a group. Number 7, we educate our own every chance we get. And number 8, brothers build up sisters and men build up boys. Number 9, sisters build up brothers and women build up girls. Number 10, we look for every opportunity to start our own businesses, servicing the needs of our own people first. And lastly, ultimately, the goal is to unite and build. Alex, what's your take on this? I would love to hear your take on the Black Code.
Yes, absolutely. Peace to everyone in the room, Sirius Mindz family. Peace, Professor Griff, and you and your lovely wife, Soleil. Peace 16. Two things stuck out for me. I think it was number 10. We look for every opportunity to start our own businesses, serving the needs of our own people first. For me, that was very powerful because we spend so much money with so many other communities, and they're not putting their dollars back into our community. When we think about for hair, for pedicures, for manicures, for massages, when we think about food, when we think about restaurants or just groceries, I mean, when we think about health. Even last week when we talked about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing with the Fear of a Black Planet, when she included health in the 9 areas of attack. When we think about our therapy, mental clinical health, and physical, anatomy, are we spending those dollars in our community? So I think that was really a powerful point, to look for every opportunity to start our own business and service the needs of our people first. Also, too, for number 11, ultimately the goal to unite and build, I think that's really important because if we're going to combine our dollars and, collectively spend together, that's going to boost us economically, and that'll have more power overall as people so we can unite. So I think it's a wonderful blueprint for us to have a standard of conduct and how to behave. Because if we're not going to harm one another and fight one another, and we're going to have ethics and respect, then that's our internal moral compass right there. So I think it's a wonderful foundation to start so we can treat each other differently and act accordingly.
Absolutely. So I want to take a look at the historical significance of what it means to have a Black code. And the reason why I want to touch on this because, during the 1860s, white supremacists actually created a law and they named it the Black Code. And this was created to circumvent Black people from advancing. White supremacists in the South deliberately instituted and passed laws during 1865 to 1866, particularly after the Civil War, to restrict African Americans from freedom and compel them to work in a labor economy based on low wages and debt. And this is just one of the many ways that they used the law and policies against African Americans to prevent them from advancing economically. So I want to explore, ways of how to combat, this idea based on what Marcus Garvey and W.E. Du Bois discuss. Because if you fast forward to roughly around the 1920s, these two brothers actually are what many would think fathers of the Pan-Africanism movement, which they actually had, ideas of what it means to move the Black people forward, but they had different ideologies in how to get us to that point. And, they both came from very separate and different backgrounds. And I think ultimately it led to them having differing outlooks of the destiny of the African-American race. Du Bois was he was associated with the NAACP, and his attempt was to solve the problem through integration. But Marcus Garvey was more centered around the idea of Blacks helping Blacks, Blacks being relieved of their codependence on white people. And he also believed that Black people should return to their rightful homeland in Africa. And so he was very instrumental in creating the Garvey's movement and promoting and organizing, Black nationalists to kind of celebrate us as a people and getting back to our Africanism. Give me your take on that, Alex.
Yeah, I think that both men were very passionate for their people, and I think the approaches differ, but I don't think that the mission and the legacy will ever leave. I think that as far as Pan-Africanism is concerned, I think that it's a good thing globally for all Blacks, all Africans, no matter where we are, whether it's in Canada or Puerto Rico or Texas. I think that if we do unite collectively, then economically we can become a superpower and get out of this dilemma that we're in. Because the Black codes that were set, clearly that's a law. If the Constitution is referencing us as 3/5 of a man anyway, what do we really anticipate or expect to change? So I think that with Marcus Garvey and Du Bois, I think that they're the founders for what we can continue. And I think that I watched Marcus Garvey's speech earlier today, and one of the things he said in the speech that was very powerful, he said, when you liberate the mind, you liberate the man. And I think that when we start coming into ourselves collectively and individually, we'll have a better opportunity of being truly liberated.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And for those who don't know what Pan-Africanism means, I'll pull from a source from one of the Pan-African websites. Basically, it says that Pan-Africanism is a worldwide movement that aims to encourage and strengthen bonds of solidarity between all indigenous and ethnic groups of African descent. Principle or advocacy of the political union of all indigenous inhabitants of Africa is solely based on the belief that unity is vital to economic, social, and political progress, and aims to unify and uplift people of African descent. And to me, just reading this and understanding the principle of what Garvey wanted to push forward, it is very important that we get on code, the Black code, when it comes to our economics, socially, politically. We have to have that fundamental understanding of what it takes to so that we are able to have that kind of power, that buying power, that political power. And just sadly, it's just, I look at these two men, and it was a lot of internal fighting between those two. But to be honest with you, they both share the same ideology. It's just their approach was different. And with, most people, to me, honestly, a lot of people would consider Du Bois to be, quote unquote, a sellout, because of his thoughts and his process of what it's going to take to move the Black people forward. And, sadly, for me, when I look at Du Bois and Garvey, it reminds me a lot of what's being taken place in the Black community. A lot of times we all have the same ideologies, but we fight amongst ourselves, and yet we're not moving one iota forward when it comes to fighting and beating white supremacy. It's sad, because I just wish that we can just really put down all the differences and realize that we have the same goal, and that's to defeat white supremacies. So let me get your take on that, Alex.
I agree, the same goal, and it takes you back to the blueprint and the code that Professor Griff put in his book. We don't fight each other, because if we don't fight each other, that's at least a start for Pan-Africanism and that political union that we desire. But even beyond that, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, he talks about the importance of culture, how important culture is to have that point of reference origin, because from culture comes economics and politics. Economics being the creativity for the jobs, and politics being the structure to organize it. So once we do stop fighting each other and look out for one another, in addition, because we've been doing that, but in addition to the policy changes, I think much change will happen.
Mm-hmm. Like Marcus Garvey, there are a lot of people who believe that in order to be on the Black code, that we must have a vision of Pan-Africanism. But I think we have to ask the serious question, what has Pan-Africanism contributed to the Black community recently? And why was the Garveyism movement lost? If Marcus Garvey was alive today, would his philosophy be celebrated in practice? Why do we not see that a lot in this community? What's your take on that, Alex?
That's a really powerful question. I think there's a lot of different dynamics to that. I think that with time, I think people are becoming docile and passive in satisfied with what we have now. I think once we had integration, a lot of people lost the fight because they figured, okay, we've made it. When in reality, we still see many police brutalities. We still see wage discrimination. We still see a lack of reparations. There's so many discrepancies across the board for Blacks here in America that things are clearly not equal. So again, I mean, I'm for Pan-Africanism. I want for Africans in America, Africans across the globe, in all indigenous inhabitants of Africa, no matter where we are in diaspora, I think we all should have some form of reparations, and we need to have some form of unity. And I don't know how it's going to happen. I know individually we all have the opportunity to do our own research. We have the capacity and ability to start our businesses, to go to school. Hi, everybody. There's like 15 kids. I'm at the park. So we all have the opportunity. Each one teach one. I mean, I don't think it's an ending fight. I think both gentlemen were very passionate, and as far as their approach is very different, very dynamic. But I think that we need to get that hunger back. I think that we're dissatisfied and we're waiting for somebody to make a change, and we need to take that change to become the people we want to see.
So here's the thing, you know, a lot of Pan-Africanists push this whole idea of dual citizenship in Africa. And in my research, what I found is that dual citizenship is actually illegal in a lot of countries in Africa. There's a lot of African leaders who are against having dual citizenship because they feel that it does nothing for their people. And so it's like, you know, on the flip side of that as well, you know, when we go back through the history and we understand white supremacy, but we also have to look at the mere fact that we had our own people who sold us. White supremacy could not have attempted or been successful without the help of slave owners and slave traders. And ironically, right now, they said that in Africa is the world's epic center of modern day slavery. They said last year it recorded the highest rate of enslaved people, and I think it was to the tune of 9.2 million Africans who live in servitude without choice to do so. This is from the 2018 Global Survey Index. And this is sad. It's like, how can we get to that Africanism if you still have people on a continent right now that are enslaving their own people? And I think if we're going to be on a black code, we need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that mentality of enslaving our own people. What's your thoughts on that, Alex?
Yeah, again, I mean, you liberate the mind, you liberate the people. I mean, it's the mindset. It's the introduction of the colonialism type divisive, divide, conquer. I mean, a divided house can't stand. Keep them separated. We're just going to have to figure out a way. I think enough of us are waking up on a daily basis, yearly, coming in tune with ourselves and wanting to have a better way, wanting to have that point of origin of our identity, wanting to, you know, activate who we really are. And I think that it's just going to take some change. I mean, we got to be responsible and accountable for what we can control and just make the necessary changes that we can with how we treat each other, with how we view each other, with how we spend our dollars. I mean, each one teach one. We just got to make a decision how we're going to live and what we're going to do and what we're not going to do, and incorporate things that are Afrocentric into our lifestyle and use the code, the Black code, as a tool to open up access to a better way.
So another person who I strongly appreciate and love is Malcolm X. Now, he was a very big advocate of Black nationalism and he, for a lot of people, is considered to be a Black nationalist, right? So his whole idea of being a Black nationalist is that we must control the economics and the politics and the policing of our communities and the culture in our communities. You know, he basically, his whole spiel was that we should control our own economics. You know, we should control the people who police us. You know, we should be able to control the politics. You know, even our culture, like, and if we don't, you know, then we need to move forward to getting that, you know, to happen for us. And I think, you know, in order for us to be on Black Code, you know, we have to be able to understand economics. We have to have people in place in politics. We have to have Black officers and police in our communities. You know, if we don't have control of any of those things, how can we say that we're on Black Code? There's no way we can say that if we have no controls over that. You know, and a lot of people like to say, oh, well, if you're pro-Black, then you're being racist. No, we're not. We don't control banks. We don't control financing. We don't control economics. We don't control the schooling systems or politics or any of those things. So, no, we can't. It's impossible for us to be a racist. You know, so give me your take on that, Alex.
Absolutely. We don't have the power or the capacity. I think prejudice, we can prejudge or we can discriminate, but as far as racism, no. And again, I just want to say that Black nationalism and Black pride is not the same as white racism supremacy. Again, Black pride and Black power, Black nationalism is not the same as white racism supremacy. Having a point of origin and a culture to celebrate just as others around the world is not the same as suppressing, oppressing, repressing, and digressing an entire population. So bringing it back to the code that Professor Griff presented, if we're going to have ethics and respect, then we got to use that internal moral compass. And if we're going to combine collectively to reach that political union, then we got to make some changes. And Malcolm X is a perfect example because we know he has a past, but look how far he came. And in prison, a brother reached him the same way we can reach others. Put a book in his hand, loved on him, encouraged him, nourished him, taught him. And then in response, look what Malcolm X did, not only for himself and for his family, but for you and I right now, 50, 60 years almost later. So we got to get on code with ourselves no matter what's going on. And we're doing it. People are waking up every day. Generations are waking up. I don't think it's going to be too much longer that the minds are going to be constrained. I think people, African people, Black, melanated, however you want to word it, I think we're all coming in tune with a higher sense of self. So when we do make that connection and see one another, not as Dominican or Haitian or Congolese or from Sudan or Ethiopian, yes, it's cool to have ethnicity and pride and celebrate culture. But overall, the one dynamic that you pointed out, Juan, is being African. And that's why Pan-Africanism is important. And we got to keep that legacy and mission going forward. But we got to put in our own work too. We can't be fighting one another when the system is already fighting us.
So true. For those of you that are just joining us, I'm Quan. This is Alex Little. We're discussing the Black Code and what it means for us and how we can implement it into our community. And so it's interesting that you said that, you know, you talked about the fighting amongst us. And, you know, I try to be, you know, well balanced and I try to not only, you know, tune into the Black conscious community, but I also like to be politically astute as well. And one thing that I can like really appreciate is the efforts of like the ADOS movement with Dr. Sandy Darity and Antonia Moore and Yvette Cornell, and how they're bringing forth the ADOS movement and to fight to have reparation discussions in the forefront, and especially with this political election coming up. But unfortunately, there are so many people, so many so-called Black people, specifically a lot of Black immigrants in this country that are speaking against reparations. And unfortunately, these are the gatekeepers and the charlatans being paraded in the media and politics. You know, and one thing I can say, one thing I can give credit to white supremacy, if I can ever give them credit or anything, is that they remain on code. They have a front, and they do not let anybody break that. They remain on code, whether they right, different, or wrong. They are always on code, and I think that's our biggest problem. You know, we don't know how to get on point and push out the same message. Yes, we're going to have different ideologies. Yes, we may even have different, you know, principles when it comes to how we should attack it and moving forward. But at the end of the day, we should all have the same message. And right now, I don't see that in our community. You know, I don't see a lot of Black people operating on this quote unquote Black code. You know, I hear so many political pundits and gatekeepers talking against reparations and a Black agenda. And I'll see a lot of them saying that, you know, racism doesn't exist. And I'm like, what? And today I heard Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s niece, Elvita King, saying that Trump is not a racist. I'm like, girl, like your uncle is flipping in his grave right now. What are you saying? This is not what he stood for. You know, and I'm just thinking to myself, she's definitely not on code or even representing her uncle for that matter. And I see people like Roly Poly Martin and then the radio show host Marcus Thompson, who claims to be a Pan-Africanist. You know, people in the NAACP and the National Urban League and Kamala Harris and Cory Booker and, you know, all these people who are not pushing a Black agenda. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? You know, how are you? And the majority of these people are pushing an immigration agenda, but they're not pushing a black agenda. And that is my biggest pet peeve with a lot of these quote unquote picked leaders. It's like, how could you be keeping for another group and you're not keeping or have that same energy for your own people in your own community? You know, we have to get honest with one another. We have to recognize, you know, those people who operate and speak against, you know, the Black agenda and not offer us any tangibles. You know, at the end of the day, I think we need the spirit of Marcus Garvey. We need the spirit of Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, Ida B. Wells, you know, John Henry Clark, Professor James Small, Dr. Anthony Browder, you know, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Neely Fuller. We need all of them, all our ancestors wrapped in one, you know what I'm saying, and push this agenda forward. Like, we really do. We need to, like, seriously embody everything that they brought to the table so that we can beat white supremacy and we can beat their own game. You know, both on an economical, political, and spiritual and metaphysical level. So give me your take on that, Alex.
Yeah, with a sprinkle of Khalid Muhammad, right?
Girl, him too. He was a militant. Him too. We need that.
Yeah, he wasn't for the games. I think things have definitely got watered down. For as far as the political leaders who are flat out cooning, either they just don't know any better or they just know and don't care. Either way it goes, there's so many people out here that are waking up again, that are coming in tune to who we are and who we can be. Just like how the movies, Wakanda, and watching different movies with the Black agendas being pushed right now, and everybody's rushing to see it, and all the money being spent. Instead of us rushing to see that, why don't we just be it? Why don't we just become connected? And having Black codes such as these guide us to do that, to be our brother's keeper, to reach the little girls, to reach the young men, not to fight each other, not to be divisive. So again, I don't know what's going on with the political climate. I think it's jacked up. I think it's totally all the way messed up. And I think that we do deserve reparations. I think the Japanese got them, the Native Americans got them, the Jews got them. I mean, what's wrong with giving us our 40 acres a mule? Why y'all playing? You know?
Yeah, it's so sad because last month they actually gave an extension to the 9/11 survivors for another, I think it's 70 years of reparations. And the gays actually got a 79, I think it was like 70 or $90 million reparations. So when they file their taxes, they're going to get money back. And yet,
you know what I'll say about that, because you said you wanted to get credit, if you can give any credit to white supremacy. One thing about gays too, they stay on code with harmony, you know. So you see what I'm saying? They're united and they come peaceable. The same thing, well, not the same thing as far as white supremacy. There ain't nothing peaceable about that. But what I'm saying is they stick together. But it's out of fear. So if you're going to be annihilated, you too would do everything that you could do. Not illegally that type of way, and debauchery and divisive and just flat out evil and wicked, but the way they're operating by the end of the day is they want to live. So they're going to kill, take, steal, destroy, and do anything and implement doctrine to keep you in your mind encapsulated. So psychologically, you're inferior, you're docile, even though you're strong. And I think the system is giving up. And the statistic you read earlier about by 2043, yeah, the world's going to be black. I don't know how much more weather you can change. You can make clouds, you can launch fake moons, but nature is speaking. And again, you know, for those who are selling out and making choices against their people financially, or genuinely have ideology that they're serving people by saying no to reparations and no to ADOS. I mean, it's crazy how we can be in this country and how found it, yet you can come over here and get a gas station for free and flip that mug every 7 years to a relative. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the system overall is just not for us, and we're going to have to figure out a better way, uniting with one another to do what we need to do in a safe, beneficial, positive way, so we can too become economically sustainable or sustaining. Because I don't foresee anybody just giving us anything. And to be honest, it's probably more whites on welfare than there is blacks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put that out there. We don't get statistics.
You know, it's just sad, because we as a people have to understand how imperative it is right now to get on code. And our legacy depends on it. You know, our children, their children, their children. We have to understand that, you know, if we don't get on code and do, like, I'm not saying that we should be like them, but when it comes to being on code, the white supremacy, they don't fold. They basically stay on code. And this is so imperative that we understand that concept. If we can take anything away from that, it's the concept of how they are bonded. They stand hand to hand, no matter how wrong it is. You know how many people that are sticking up for Trump right now, and they know he's dead as wrong? But they stand hand to hand, and they collectively they stand on that principle. We want to protect white supremacy. Why can't we as black people have that same mindset?
I will tell you. You said a very powerful word, principles, because they're operating from principles, not morals, and that's a different mindset. When you're from a caveman mentality, where it's either can you screw it, can you eat it, can you kill it, you're not necessarily functioning out of compassion and love. You see what I'm saying? So that moral compass is missing in this case with the mindset of white racism supremacy. They're not functioning off of morals. It's strictly principle. Malcolm X, on paper, it's by morals, but it's principle. So there is no compassion. There is no understanding. There is no love. It's strictly principle based. I win, you lose, me or you. That's it. So within that mindset, the unity and solidarity is beneficial, but look who's being hurt behind it. And I don't think that's how we ever operated as a people.
Yeah, I think, you know, just to kind of wrap this up, I do want to say that, you know, everyone in this chat room, you know, we all can make a difference. Yes, we may share different ideologies, but at the end of the day, we all need to get on the same code, the same page, and push the same message. That's the only way we're going to be able to defeat this. You know, it's good to be quote unquote woke, but it ain't good to be financially broke while being woke. We need to have that understanding. Like Professor Griff says, you know, we need to be able to start the black businesses and be able to service our own people. You know, we should be able to have that kind of mindset, you know, building one another up. And if we don't get on the same page, then we are sadly going to be doomed. You know, we need to get that principle of what it means to have oneness and push that message forward. They can't stop us. The inevitable is going to happen to them. That's all on God, our creator. That's going to happen to him. But at the same time, too, we have to be able to create the foundation so that we can push it forward. And we can create the legacies, we can create the bonds, we can create the financial and economical systems in place so that we can prosper. So in closing, you know, Alex, I would like to get your take in closing, and then we're going to go ahead and close out the chat room.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can give your take.
I thought you were going to pose the question. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I think think it's fabulous. I think in closing, just like Professor Griff put in the book clearly for us to use as a blueprint, smiling at one another, and doing business with one another, and just being each other's keeper. If we don't teach each other how to treat one another, then nobody else is gonna know how to. We gotta emulate it. We gotta be it. So to combine collectively, we just gotta make sure we make choices in ourselves to emulate the behavior we want to see. So with that, Quan, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. So we like to thank everyone in the chat room for joining us. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you would like to donate, please do so on the super chat, or you can hit up Professor Griff with PayPal, or you can hit him up with Cash App. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Professor Griff, I just want to thank you personally. We hope you all enjoy. You guys have a good night. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. All right, we're black. All right, let's give a round of applause. Thumbs up, black power fist, something to them two beautiful sisters that laid it down. Quan S and Alex Little, aka Alex Big. Let's give it up. All right. All right. Love the way they kind of laid that out. Very, very intricate and detailed questions for us to answer. Alright? Alright, so we only got about 5 minutes left, and I want to just let everybody know, if you want to start understanding what code is it that we need to be living by. There's different codes that's out there, but where you should start, you might want to start with this book. Alright? The United Independent Compensatory Code System Concept, a textbook, workbook for thought, speech, action, and thought, speech, and or action for victims of racism, white supremacy. Neely Fuller Jr. Alright? We're going to let the elder speak for himself for a few minutes, and then we're going to close out. Alright?
I do get hungry, so I need food. I might even My sister sure is good looking. I wish I looked like my sister. No, I don't look like her. No.
Sorry for the technical difficulty. I don't know what Shane thinking about. He thinking this, what I'm playing is going through the system. No, I'm playing this out loud so people can hear it. Alright, this is our good brother, Dr. Neely Fuller Jr. from the book, The United Independent Compensatory Code System and Concept. It's a YouTube clip entitled Code Black. Neely Fuller Jr., the Black Code. Alright, sorry for the technical difficulty.
Oh, look like you. This is you. You are unique.
Why? How they gonna hear it if you cut the mic?
Hang around for a while, keep your mind clear, and it'll be laid out to you. See, you can't figure everything out. You know, when you don't come here in a crib figuring everything out, things come to you. And what your purpose is will present itself at some time. But you got to give it space. Don't clog your mind up with a whole lot of nonsense. In the meantime, you try to learn everything that you're supposed to learn. How much time I got? How much time am I supposed to be talking? Okay, I don't want to, see, it's not supposed to be a captive audience, see, but at the same time, I want to get some questions and answers and things, but I'm going to run through a few things. Black people are supposed to be doing 4 things at all times. I call it the use of time and energy. Now, if you don't remember anything else tonight, try to remember these 4 things. That way you don't ever get lost. That's what codification is all about. That's what having a code is all about. Just 4 things you're supposed to be doing at all times. Non-white people, victims of racism. First, producing, repairing, cleaning, etc., something of constructive value. At all.
Now, I'm sure you heard that. These 4 things that he's talking about. We're talking about codifying a system. All right, the system needs to be codified. Take all those things that's beneficial to us as a people from all of these different groups that's fighting one another right now. All right, take it and settle on the best part, extract and pull. All right, from those things, codify it and put it in a system that becomes our code. All right, all the other things we'll discuss on the other side. All right, we're gonna dive back into Neely Fuller, hopefully on Thursday when we have a little bit more time. Make sure you'll tune in tomorrow for the mic check 1 2 1 2. All right, mic check 1 2 1 2. Tomorrow and Thursday will be black with the Sista Cypha. All right, sorry for the technical difficulty. I don't know what Shane thinking about over here. Yeah, but anyway, shout out to Shane Shakur, shout out to Quan S, and shout out to Alex Little. All right, I think Shane forgot that my computer's not running through the system, so everything I play, I'm running it through the microphone here, so people can hear it loud and clear. All right, mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2 tomorrow. Sista Cypha back on Thursday, and of course we're gonna dive into this Jeffrey Epstein thing on Friday. So putting my notes together. All right. I'm gonna send out the information tomorrow about the class. We gotta encourage people to sign up. Like I said, I need 10 more people to sign up for the class. Let's see if we can push this drive to make this thing happen. So Quan and Alex, if need be, you don't necessarily have to do Zoom on tomorrow if you don't want to. Just let me know if you want to, but we can have a conversation. I can get it recorded and put it up. Zoom is better. It's a lot more clearer. Alright? Okay, so y'all just let me know. We need some other sisters to join the Sista Cypha. It's a cipher. It's not the Alex and Quan and Cat Boogie show. Alright, so yeah, so if sisters y'all want to join the Sista Cypha, be my guest. Contact me. I'll let Quan know. We can make it happen. Alright. This is Professor Griff signing out for Sirius Mindz, for Sirius Mindz. Seriously. Peace.
Greetings, this is Professor Griff. Tune in every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/the letter C Sirius Mindz RNTV. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Sirius Mindz for Sirius Mindz, seriously. Peace.
to the heart and pale dyes you're seeking. But what you thinking is veil blind and bleak when it's your mind and your soul that needs to be deep in. See beauty skin deep, you're a shallow pond. Then there's an ocean of wisdom you need to paddle on. Take a dive in, many jewels there. Your only interest is surface shit and fool's fare. You're a goddess. Take your rightful place. Tear the veil and stare a bitch right in the face. Divine feminine, can't be suppressed. Shakti is the energy that we manifest. Queens rule here, we the Debbie tribe. Take a hit of this tantra and feel the Kali vibe. Peel away the cloak, scrape away the scales, and see the truth of what lies behind all the fallen veils. Trying to be, cause the yachtman is blanketed like a canopy. Antithetical, saying that you real when your identity lies in all that you don't reveal. Third eye blind, eyes to contact, so you can open the lotus up like a compact. Become an offering, something more to give than the physical body that can't forever live. Rooted in passion, before the right cause. Spiritual wisdom and knowledge that make you have pause. And let it transmute, metamorphosize. See the truth of awakening right before your eyes. If the perception, the real magic. For you to miss all this glory, it would be tragic. So get to tearing the veil as if it was fabric, and find yourself on the path, walking the labyrinth. Something more to give than the physical body that can't forever live. Don't give a passion before the right call. Spiritual wisdom and knowledge that make you happy.